Hello everyone, today we're diving into something that touches every one of our life's relationships. Whether it's with a partner, a friend, a family member, or even a colleague, relationships form the backbone of our emotional and social well-being. But let's be honest, building and maintaining strong relationships isn't always easy. It takes effort, understanding, and a bit of self-reflection. So in the next 10 minutes, let's explore how we can foster healthier, more meaningful connections in our lives. You know, when I think about the word foundation, I think about stability, about something solid we can build upon. Just like a house needs a strong base to stand tall and firm, our relationships need a solid foundation to thrive. And that's exactly what we need in our relationships, right? A base that can support us through thick and thin. A strong foundation that can weather the storms of life. Whether it's a disagreement, a misunderstanding, or a major life challenge, a solid foundation helps us stay connected. Every single relationship we have, from the one with our partner to the one with our barista, needs a solid foundation. It's the bedrock of our interactions. And that foundation rests on 3 pillars: trust, communication, and respect. Trust is the bedrock. Without it, everything else crumbles. It's the feeling of safety and security we experience when we believe that someone has our best interests at heart. It's the assurance that we can rely on each other. It's knowing we can be vulnerable, that we can show up as our authentic selves without judgment. This vulnerability strengthens our bond. Communication, that's the mortar that holds us bricks of trust together. It's the glue that binds us. It's about being open and honest with each other, even when it's difficult. It's about sharing our thoughts and feelings genuinely. It's about truly listening, not just waiting for our turn to speak. And finally, respect. Respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. It's about valuing the other person even when we don't agree with them. It's about recognizing their worth and treating them with dignity. It's about treating them with kindness and consideration, just as we want to be treated. This mutual respect fosters a deeper connection. So I want you to think about your own relationships for a moment. Reflect on the pillars that support them. How well do these pillars stand? Are they strong and sturdy, or do they feel a little shaky? If one of those pillars feels a little wobbly, that's okay. It doesn't mean the relationship is doomed. It just means it's time to give that pillar a little extra attention. It's an opportunity to strengthen it, a little TLC as we would call it. It just means it's time to give that pillar a little extra attention. It's time to reinforce it, to strengthen it so that your relationship can stand the test of time. Remember, a strong foundation is built over time with care and effort. We live in a world filled with distractions, don't we? Our phones are buzzing, our to-do lists are overflowing, and it's so easy to just go through the motions of listening without truly hearing what someone is saying. But here's the thing. Active listening is a superpower. It's the ability to quiet the noise around us and truly tune into another person. It's about being present, being engaged, and showing the person we're with that they matter. Active listening isn't just about hearing the words someone is saying. It's about understanding the emotions behind those words. It's about picking up on the nuances of their tone, their body language, and really trying to see the world from their perspective. One of the simplest yet most powerful tools for active listening is paraphrasing. When someone finishes speaking, take a moment to summarize what you heard them say. You can say something like, "What I'm hearing is," or "It sounds like you're feeling," This simple act of reflecting back what you've heard can work wonders. It shows the other person that you're truly paying attention, that you're making an effort to understand them. And that feeling of being heard, of being understood, it's a powerful thing. It creates connection, it builds trust, and it deepens our relationships. So the next time you're in a conversation, I challenge you to really listen. Put away your phone, silence your inner critic, and give the person in front of you the gift of your full attention. You might be surprised by the depth of connection you experience. Chapter 3: Navigating Conflict with Grace. Let's talk about conflict for a moment. It's something we all encounter, yet many of us dread. It's one of those things that we often try to avoid, right? We think that if we ignore it, it might just go away. We think that healthy relationships are conflict-free, but that's simply not true. In fact, the absence of conflict can sometimes indicate a lack of communication. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship. It's a natural part of human interaction. It's what happens when two people with different perspectives, different needs, and different experiences come together. These differences can lead to misunderstandings and disagreements. It's not a sign that the relationship is broken. It's a sign that the relationship is real. Real relationships involve real people with real emotions. The key to navigating conflict in a healthy way is not to avoid it, but to approach it with grace. Grace allows us to handle conflicts constructively. And by grace, I mean approaching the situation with compassion, understanding, and a willingness to find common ground. It's about seeing the other person's perspective. So, how do we do that? How do we bring grace into our conflicts? How do we navigate conflict in a way that strengthens our relationships instead of tearing them apart? First, stay calm. Keeping your emotions in check is crucial. When emotions run high, it's easy to say things we don't mean, to react in ways that escalate the situation. This can cause more harm than good. Take a deep breath, step back if you need to, and try to approach the conversation with a level head. This can help de-escalate the tension. Second, focus on the issue, not the person. It's important to separate the problem from the individual. It's easy to get caught up in blaming each other, but that's not helpful. Blame only creates more conflict. Instead, try to focus on the specific issue at hand and work together to find a solution. Collaboration is key, and finally, remember that you're on the same team. You're partners, not opponents. You're not adversaries in a battle. You're two people who care about each other, trying to figure things out. This mindset can transform the way you handle conflicts. Approach the conversation with that mindset, and you'll be amazed at how much more productive it can be. Conflict, when handled with grace, can actually bring you closer together. Yes, the importance of healthy boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries, something that's so crucial for healthy relationships yet often misunderstood. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define our personal space, both physically and emotionally. Boundaries often get a bad rap, don't they? Many people think of them as restrictive or even selfish. We think of them as walls, as ways to shut people out. This misconception can make it hard to set boundaries without feeling guilty. But that's not what boundaries are about at all. Instead, they are about creating a safe space for ourselves and others. Boundaries are about protecting our emotional and mental well-being. They help us maintain our peace and focus on what truly matters. They're about knowing where we end and another person begins. This clarity helps in reducing misunderstandings and conflicts. They're about honoring our own needs and limits, even when those needs and limits might disappoint someone else. It's about self-respect and self-care. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's essential. It's a way to ensure that we don't overextend ourselves and burn out. It's about communicating our needs clearly and respectfully, and it's about respecting the boundaries that others set for themselves. This mutual respect fosters healthier and more fulfilling relationships. Think of it this way. Imagine a beautiful garden. A garden that you have spent time and effort cultivating. Without a fence, the garden is vulnerable. It can easily be damaged by external factors. People can trample the flowers, animals can wander in and eat the vegetables. The garden's beauty and productivity are at risk. But with a fence, the garden is protected, it can flourish. The fence doesn't keep out everything, it just ensures that what comes in is beneficial. Our boundaries are like that fence. They are there to protect us, not to isolate us. They protect our hearts, our minds, and our energy. They allow us to recharge and be our best selves. They allow us to show up in our relationships as our best selves. When we are well rested and emotionally balanced, we can give more to others. Learning to say no without guilt is a crucial part of setting healthy boundaries. It's about understanding that our time and energy are valuable. It's about recognizing that we have the right to decline requests, to say no to things that don't serve us, without having to over-explain or apologize. This empowers us to make choices that align with our values. And just as important as setting our own boundaries is respecting the boundaries of others. This mutual respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship. When someone tells us no when they express a limit, we need to honor that. It's a sign of respect and understanding. We need to trust that they're doing what's best for themselves, just as we trust ourselves to do the same. This trust builds stronger, more resilient connections. Chapter 5. The Power of Gratitude and Appreciation. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to take the people we love for granted, isn't it? We get so caught up in our routines, our to-do lists, that we forget to pause and appreciate the incredible people we have in our lives. But here's the thing, gratitude is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets. And the more we express gratitude in our relationships, the stronger those relationships become. It doesn't have to be anything grand or elaborate. It can be as simple as saying thank you for the little things. Thank you for making me laugh. Thank you for listening to me vent. Thank you for being you. Taking the time to notice and appreciate the good in our relationships has a ripple effect. It not only makes the other person feel good, but it also makes us feel good. It reminds us of the reasons why we love and cherish these people in the first place. So I want to make gratitude a daily practice in your relationships. Each day, find one thing you appreciate about someone you love and tell them. It could be a character trait, a specific action, or simply the way they make you feel. These small acts of appreciation, these moments of connection, they might seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but trust me, they're not. They're the building blocks of strong, loving, and lasting relationships. Chapter 6. Cultivating Meaningful Connections. In the end, relationships thrive on effort, empathy, and understanding. It's not about being perfect, but about being present and intentional. Take time to nurture your connections, resolve conflicts with love, and celebrate the joy that relationships bring into your life. Thank you for spending these 10 minutes with me. If this resonated with you, take a moment today to reach out to someone you care about and strengthen that bond. Remember, great relationships don't just happen, they're created. Please take the time to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.